Where's he going with this shit?
Oh no, you belong to somebody new.
Cause tonight you belong to me. I'm from One West headquarters. Follow my captain's orders. Live in the land of pain and torture. No straw, but they want their mortar. Tell Trump, fuck borders. P.S. Prepare for slaughter. Never take their sons and daughters. Never give them alls in return. Niggas never wanna learn. Till they laying in the urn. Babylon, Babylon, Babylon. You gots to burn. Even if I gotta go with it. So fuck it, is you with it? Niggas never feel froggy, they just wanna rip it. If I see a bad bitch, then I gotta rip it. Your lip looking like the Red Sea when I split it. Tell me why that flow so vicious. Every time he switches, beat a nigga ass like mama did with switches. You niggas looking real.
Shalom. Y'all by Shemel Shah Brak Thumb to the brothers. Y'all with Shemal Thumb by Shemel Shah to the sisters. You tuned in live. Precinct Captain Nadazak Shah at ISUPK. You are tuned in live to another episode. ISUPK combating child molestation, sexual assault, sexual violence, all of these things here, which is so rampant in the Black, Hispanic, and Native American community. And there is not a voice, a driving force to fight against it so that we can eradicate it and expose it in our communities. In today's episode, we're going to talk about Olympic dreams. You understand? For the love of the game, for the love of the Olympic dreams, you understand so many things and times that have happened dealing with our people, affecting not just us alone as so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, because that's who we care about, these 12 tribes here in ISUPK. But this is such a plague and an epidemic in the Black, Hispanic, Native American community. All of these tribes that you see here, Dominican, Central, South America, all throughout the Caribbean, all on the reservations, in the ghettos, the suburbs, Hollywood, everywhere we go, these problems follow us. They're curses, you understand? And this curse of this child molestation, this sexual assault and abuse, it is through the roof. And it is so rampant, and it does not get talked about enough so that it can get dealt with and get wiped out, because it is covered for, because the religions that our people are in, as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, all the churches, temples, mosques, religious things, none of it addresses and fixes the actual problems that our people face. You got to come to the prophets of the Lord to fix the problems the way that the Lord said that they need to be fixed. And today we're going to talk about this doctor, Larry NASSER. You understand? This doctor, well-known Olympic doctor, known all throughout the world, Dr. Larry NASSER. We're going to get to him. This disgusting child molester right here, known, you understand, the gymnastics Olympic doctor, very famed, very successful, very long-standing career in practice, that everyone was told, that they knew that these little girls were telling about Dr. NASSER years and years and years, that this disgusting, this pedophile, you understand, this pedosexual, you understand, this man who likes to have sex with children, that likes to touch and abuse little children, you understand, that this man was sexually assaulting these girls on these Olympic teams. And they told their coaches, they told their parents, and people knew about this. And because for the love of the gold, for the love of Olympic dreams and aspirations, this man was allowed to continuously abuse and assault child after child, baby after baby, girl after girl, you understand, just tons of brothers, tons of sisters, even tons of his own people, you understand? It is not lawful to do this. You're not allowed to have sex with somebody's baby. You are not allowed to molest children. All of this nonsense gets covered up, you understand, in these religious zones and institutions, and creates a society in the world where if the benefit or if the seeming benefit will outweigh the actual consequences of having to deal with and face this coach and deal with the backlash, that they would just allow the person to remain in a position of power. Same way in the churches, same way with the Eddie Longs, same way with the R. Kellys, same way with these allegations that are not isolated incidents. They are so very commonplace. You understand? That happens, and it destroys people. It destroys a society. You understand? And it's normal and it's acceptable in a Greco-Roman society, in that Christian society, in the Arab society, it's normal for you to go and have sex with children, and that is not normal. That is not acceptable. That's against the Most High, and that is why the prophets, why the Lord told us that we as a people are to remain separate from our oppressors in their lifestyle. We're to be separate from them, man. All of this giving your children to go to some doctor traveling around the world, you should not be giving your children away. You understand? These oppressors should not be given charge over your children, not in their military, not in their schools. You should not be leaving your children alone with these, you understand, because of their title, their position. If there's a religious leader, if there's some sort of leader or a doctor, you understand, these things should not be allowed to happen and continue. Of course, in our oppressor society, these things are acceptable. But amongst our 12 tribes, Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, this should never happen. This is not acceptable, man. We're going to get some of this. We're going to get scriptures on this. We're going to get stories about us. All of it for the love of these Olympic dreams and goals of representing America. The Lord told us that we should not join another nation. We should not represent them. We should not make a covenant or agreement to represent and join them. It may seem like it's not important because the Christian church does not teach us what God says in the Bible. The Christian church teaches us everybody is the same. We are all one. Join hands in a rainbow push coalition. You know, there's no color, there's no race. That is a lie. You do not know the society of these other nations of people. You don't know their culture and the way that they operate. You in your ignorance thinking that everyone is the same. That is why every people keeps their own heritage. They have their own gods, their own language, their own religious tradition. China is a communist country, yet and still they celebrate a Chinese New Year here in America and in China. All of the various Africans have their own New Years on their New Year's Day in their lands and their country. The various Asian countries are the exact same way. Like the Lord does not want everybody to be in a melting pot. You understand? And this is how and why this is just another example of how and why things like this continue to happen. The Lord forbids you as Blacks, Hispanics, or Native Americans from joining a covenant to another nation of people. You are not allowed to pledge allegiance to America, to fight for America, join their government, their military, represent them. You are not supposed to do that. You understand? We don't belong in their Olympic world. You understand? Earning them medals and prestige as we represent America and pledge allegiance to America, my country, 'tis of thee. We are the captors of our oppressors. We've been here for hundreds of years. You understand? We were not invited here. We're not a part of their empire. We're the batteries that they use up and then throw away after they've gotten everything that they can from us. You understand? Deuteronomy 7:6, the Lord said, neither shall thou make marriages with them. We are not to make a marriage with another nation of people. If you are Black, Hispanic, or Native American, God forbids us. You see this? This is an Ephraimite. This is of the tribe children of Ephraim. This is so-called Puerto Rican. These are Judites or Benjamites, these sisters here. We are not supposed to join a covenant with them here. We're not supposed to join with them. Our fathers are not supposed to join to their fathers. Neither shall thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son. We should not give our daughters to be in a marriage with a ring and a piece of paper, which is not marriage in our culture anyway, but we should not give our daughters to them. We should not give our daughters to their sons to be in care in their military. You understand? We got stories coming out about how they violating and doing all kind of horrible things, murdering sisters in the military and brothers too, filled with all kind of sexual deviance and rapes and all of this nonsense that is allowed to continue because this is their culture. This is their society. This is a part of how they function and operate. We are forbidden from joining another nation of people. Listening to Martin Luther King put these sisters in the line of fire of this child abuser. You understand? Joining to our oppressor gave this doctor access to our sons and daughters. This is why the Bible says, neither shall thou make marriages with them. We are not to make a covenant with them. We are not to join their government, their military, to represent them. We are not to have integrated communities, interracial relationships. This is against God. God said it for this reason. You in church jumping up and down, talking about race and color doesn't matter and not my Jesus, and Jesus was all colors. God gave specific orders so that the problems that these other nations of people have dealing with their own does not come to us, so that our sons and daughters are not affected when they let their child molesters loose to molest all the little girls that he can, while he remains the prestigious Olympic doctor and you are just a piece of meat for him to abuse. We should not have this, but it continues because the Christian church does not teach what is in the Bible. You understand? God said, neither shalt thou make marriage with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give to his son. Our daughters have no business with him. Our daughters have no business with him. They have no business on the team with him, with his people, with their culture, their religion. We have no business. God is saying it right here. Neither, you understand, thou shalt not give thy daughter unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. God made everything separate for a reason. You understand? For they will turn away thy son from following me. You understand? What does it mean to follow the Lord? To hear the voice of the Lord is to keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. So when he says you will turn away your son or your daughter from following me, you won't serve the Lord. You won't be about being holy and separate like God said here in the scriptures. You will be about America and pledge allegiance to the flag and saluting the flag and represent America and rising for the national anthem. You won't see a problem with you joining hand in hand with your oppressor. You understand? You will serve the gods of the other nations, which is exactly driving us further and further into our oppressor's culture, leaving our sons and daughters to be praised to his predatory people. You understand? In our families, in our communities, all of these things destroy our people. The Lord said they will turn thy son from following me, because we don't understand what it means to follow the Lord is to be holy and separate, and being separate, we are not to take their cultures. We are not to allow. They allowed this doctor to abuse all of their own girls. And our sisters get wrapped and caught up in the mix because they allowed this to be done to their own. For sure, they're not going to stop this from being done to us. And this is a crime. You are not allowed to do this to our children or anybody else's children for that matter at all. That's against the law. We ain't with that in the Bible. That's unacceptable everywhere. But this is common and it is allowed and it is normal. And because so many of them had to complain for so many years, they do not care that this happens to us. They are caring because this happened to their daughters. And it just so happened that you are on the team with their daughters. So the evil that their culture produces with their Christianity and their capitalism and their Greco-Roman culture of abusing children and selling children and sex trafficking, all of that. Now we are sucked into this when the Lord told us that we were supposed to stay separate. You understand? It says, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. Now we serving capitalism, serving democracy, serving the Olympics. Now you serving worshiping the woman for Mother's Day and Father's Day and Earth Day. You worshiping the god of Janus and February. You understand? For Brewer, the she-wolf. You worshiping the god, you understand, of Valentine's, of Cupid, which is a holiday about prostitution. Now you worshiping the god of Shiva, which is where you get your weed from, that ganja plant. You worshiping the god Hera, which is where you get your heroin from your poppy seeds or the milk of the poppy, where you get your Percocets, which a quarter or half of our race is strung out on Percocets. Because now that we have joined our oppressor, we now take and serve their gods. You being in church all your life don't know that smoking weed is the worship of another god. You don't know shaving your face and getting shape-ups, shaving your head bald is the worship of the cultures of another nation of people. You don't know that Percocets that you taking and that heroin that our people shooting up and that syrup you drinking, which is liquid heroin, is come from the worshiping of that goddess Hera. That's why they named it heroin, to make you strong and bold and fearless. You feel no pain. You understand? That's what heroin and hera comes from. We never notice if you in church beating a tambourine all your life, they don't teach you anything. You wouldn't notice growing up in the mosque, slamming your head on the ground, praying 5 times a day. You wouldn't know that because they are not who God appointed to teach your people how to serve our God, our culture. You see that? They smiling, they just happy because they winning gold medals. They're not concerned that everybody has to get violated by Dr. NASSER to get these gold medals. They're not concerned that they've been saying that the goddamn doctor is abusing everybody since 9 years old. And now here they are 20 years old after decades of allowing this disgusting monster to abuse them. They're not concerned about that. They just want the gold medals. They see, God bless America. My country, 'tis of thee. Oh, say, can you see? They're not concerned with all the abuse and the violence. And this is why the Lord told us never to join another people. While you pledging allegiance to America and fighting for America and representing America, America did this to us for hundreds of years, all in slavery. You understand? Why you think they got child sex farms all in Indonesia, all in those former British colonies and territories? They set up all of these brothels to go and have sex with little 12-year-old Chinese and Thai and Cambodian boys and girls. The British set this up. The same ones that set up the sex trafficking farms here in America when they've been selling us for hundreds of years, like they did to the tribe of Gad, kidnapping all the natives, forcing them to go in their Indian boarding schools, where you find now they got 500 bodies of children that the damn Catholic nuns have been murdering after they abuse them to death in these privately run schools, all the way from Canada, all the way down to through America. You understand? This is why God said, never join another nation of people. Your preachers do not love God. They don't serve God. You do not love and serve God because you have not been taught how to love and serve God. 1 John 5:3 says, this is the love of God. When the scriptures say God is love, when you say God is love, God is love, love has a definition in the Bible. Your personal feelings is not what love is. This is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. Where are the commandments found? The commandments are found in the Old Testament. So if you don't know what the commandments are, like not eating pork, not eating shrimp, crab, and lobster, not allowing your woman to lead, not allowing a man, you understand, to have sex with a sister and throw her away, telling a man that he got to get rid of one of his wives, telling a woman that she can leave her man because he got another woman besides her, aborting your babies, committing murders, smoking, getting tattoos, getting shape up, shaving your face, celebrating Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays. These are sins, but you will not know that these are sins if you have been in religion your entire life and you have never learned what God requires of your people. All people are not the same. From the very beginning of the Bible, God separated all people so that we would not be stuck on the Olympic team while this animal is free to just run through all the little girls that he can find until after thousands of molestations, now he finally gets a ton of charges piled on him. What about their lives? How are they supposed to go on with their life? How are they supposed to live their day-to-day lives after you allowed this animal to run rampant? How are they supposed to live? Everybody will cry for Susie and Becky and Heather. Who's going to cry for Dominique? Who's going to cry for Kiki? You understand? Who's going to cry for her? Who's going to cry for Maria? Who's going to cry for our sisters? While all of this love for America and pledging allegiance for them, who is going to fight and deal with our problems? America is not interested in it. The Chinese suffered for 2 weeks and got a Stop Asian Hate bill. We've been having the same things happen to us 1,000 times worse. There is no Stop Negro hate. There's no Stop the Mexican hate bill. There's no Stop Indigenous or Native hate bill. They don't have such a thing exist because we are not a part of their empire. And God intended for us to stay and be separate for our safety, for our protection. You understand? And following Martin Luther King, following these Christian preachers, they have put us in a very vulnerable state. They put us in a very damaging and compromising position where now the people, after hundreds of years that have abused and sold and murdered and lynched and killed your people, they are now in charge of the care of your little children, of your little girl. First of all, I don't know how in the hell you allow your daughter to wear this damn skin tight outfit, damn near half naked, flipping on a pole bar, doing all kind of flips and stuff. What's supposed to happen is that should be the end of the Olympics. That should be the end of this gymnastics. No more. You understand? That's supposed to be the end of it. It's supposed to be the complete end of the gymnastics. That's it. If this was a righteous society, if anyone cared and gave a damn, they would say, you know what? This is unacceptable. We're not going to allow this to continue. You understand? So that all of these sisters and all of these children has been abused, they don't have to look on the goddamn TV and seeing, for the sake of this Olympic thing, for the sake of this sport, for the sake of this entertainment, for the glory of the empire that sold and murdered hundreds of millions of our people for hundreds of years to build America, this ended so that we could heal. That's what's supposed to happen in a righteous society. But this society is going to allow that to continue. If you are wise, you would not put your daughter in these uniforms. You understand? You would not put your daughter in this uniform so that some doctor, a bunch of adults, you understand, grading how well your baby flips with all of her muscles and everything exposed to do these damn acrobatics. If you were wise, you would not allow your daughters to do this. You understand? And at some point, we got to turn on the culture of our oppressors and start to use wisdom and see what is not safe. These adults should not be alone with your child, with your little girl, with your daughter. She's blossoming and getting on her flower and her body and everything changing and she growing up. They should not have ward or care over your child. Why the hell are you giving custody to look over and look after your child for extended periods of time to some other adult? This is not wise, especially with story after story after story like this coming out all the time. This is what the Lord said, 1 Ezra 8:84. Therefore, now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons. These are the sons of the other nations of people that sold us into slavery, that sold Puerto Ricans like Lori Hernandez into slavery, that sold Black women, you understand, like Simone Biles and her mother and father into slavery, that sold sisters like Gabby Douglas into slavery for hundreds of years, hundreds. These are the sons. God said we were never supposed to join them. Martin Luther King said, I have a dream that the sons of slaves and the sons of former slave owners shall sit together at the table of brotherhood. Well, this is his dream. This is what the dream got us. Him. The sons of former slaves. This is the dream. This is what it comes to. We got to awake from Martin Luther King's nightmare and start to live in reality. You understand? The Lord said, therefore shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons, neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons. Moreover, ye shall never seek to have peace with them, seeking to have peace with our oppressors, getting dog sick on us, getting water hose. You take one of those fire hydrants, you plug up a water hose, that water hose will strip the bark off of a tree. If you ever tried to pull bark off a tree before, you'll damn near tear your fingers off their joints, trying to tear a tree apart. Well, you spray a water hose on someone's eyes, they're going blind. You spray it on their back, they're breaking their ribs. You understand? Like, this is what they did to us so that we could sit with them, so that you could join their Olympic team, so that this doctor could molest all the little kids that he could find. This is what we integrated into. This is that burning house that Martin Luther King, that they don't quote as much as they quote that I Have a Dream speech. Once he became a full adult and came to his senses, he realized how terrible an idea it was to have a dream to join slaves back to the former slave owners. It was foolish. We should have never done it, and it has harmed us greatly. You understand? It says, moreover, you shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong. We cannot be strong as long as we're seeking to join them. You can't be strong that way. The Afghans did not seek to join America. That's why America respects the Afghans after 20 years of war. Russia did not seek to join America. That's why America respects the Russians. China did not seek to join America. And America is getting ready to go to war with China at any day. They got destroyers and warships surrounding Taiwan right now. And they got NATO allies and warships right now ready to engage China when they invade to take Taiwan back right now. Well, America respects them to not pull the Chinese out of their car and beat them half to death and do illegal strip searches on their women and shoot and kill and execute their sons and daughters on camera just for the district attorney to say, oh, it was justified. They don't do that to them because they respect them for not seeking peace. They do it to us because they don't respect us as a people, because your black leaders, your NAACP, your urban league leaders, your Southern Baptists, your Congressional Black Caucus, your civil rights leaders have begged our oppressors, and they despise us for it. And they don't respect us. This is what God said. Ye shall never seek to have peace with them, that ye may be strong. You were strong when there was a black school in the black side of town, with black businesses, with things from the city, from this and that, so that this area stays black. And then there was another side that was filled with white businesses, so that this area stays white. And then you carried all your black resources to disperse amongst each other, and they carried all their white resources to disperse amongst each other. And when we did that, they had white universities. We built HBCUs, which we stopped building once we integrated. We had black schools with black teachers, black principals, black counselors, black everything. They had white schools with everything that they needed for their white people. We had our history and the way that our children learn and the way that we educate each other. They had the way that their children learn and the way that they educate each other. And do you know what happened when we did that? We ended up making all the inventions that now belongs to them and their companies to get them rich. That's why we have a series called The Former of All Things, where we teach our people all of the inventions that our people made, like the laptop, like the color TV, like the refrigerator, the freezer, the refrigerated truck to transport your produce and medicine and cold goods, blood storage, the traffic light, the subway rail cars, all of these things invented by our people, the spatula, all kind of things. We have to be educated about ourselves, because now that we join our oppressors, like God told us not to do, we have no educating about ourselves. We think we're supposed to be gangsters. We think we're supposed to be, you know, like Marilyn Monroe, supposed to be Playboy. We think we're supposed to be, you know, flipping in a goddamn leotard in the Olympic Games. Meanwhile, a part of the being in the Olympic Games is having the doctor molest everybody. That's why the Lord said, don't seek to have peace with them. Never join another nation of people. It is for our safety. You didn't think this was a safety issue. You just thought it was fun. You just thought it was time that society evolve. Well, God is pressing the reset button, and it's going to evolve right back to the way where the Lord said it in the very beginning. It said, be strong and eat the good things of the land, that ye may leave the inheritance of the land unto your children forevermore. Our children were supposed to inherit what little we had. We own less now as a people than we used to own before we integrated. We own less of this country's wealth, less land, less property. It may not seem that way, but us as a people have less now. We got more things. We got more Jordans and iPhones. We got more glasses. We got more chains and jewelry and gold teeth, but we own less of this country than we did when we came out of slavery. Few years, generations after that, we forfeited in record numbers everything that we worked for after we integrated. And this is the damage and danger that it did. Another story here, same thing. For Olympic Dream, Sugar Ray Leonard, Hall of Famer, legendary boxer, he tells about how the Olympic coach molested him so that he can go and fight and represent America. We have to stop representing America. America is nothing but pain and suffering and damaging to us. While you smiling and shucking and jiving and winning for America, meanwhile, you got to go and pretend like all of this abuse did not happen and deal with this for the rest of your life, man. It's time to put an end to all of this. And as UPK, we committed to fighting and destroying everything that is hurting and you know, destroying and damaging our people. that everybody dealing with on a regular basis that nobody even cares to goddamn mention until they find somebody dead in a damn elevator of a drug overdose, like they find Prince. Or Juice WRLD dies of a drug overdose at the airport. You understand? Or Whitney Houston smoke herself to death. Or they find Whitney Houston's daughter face down in a bathtub of a drug overdose. Then everybody cares all of a sudden. Let's care before that. ISUPK, we care all the time and committed to fixing these problems. This has been another episode of the ISUPK Combating Sexual Assault and Violence. Tune in for another episode. Leave your comments. Shalom.
Yeah. But I took an oath that I'ma stand up and blaze the truth on any motherfucker. Yeah. Hey, yeah. Bury me a priest. Up at night, I never sleep, contemplating how to set my people free. Bury me a priest. Revolution, I be moving, got the feds, get a violence in these streets. Nigga, bury me a priest. Restoring honor to my dad's name, he died before he ever got to see you. Bury me a priest. If it's ever rest in peace, tell my kids that he died on his feet. Bury me a priest. So cold-blooded, but the hoes love it. Posted with the low stugging. In 15, I got caught up in the wrong spot. The cop tried to want me till my nose blooded. Now I'm fighting back. Suit up all my niggas in that black. Troopers with them killers in the cat. Catch me on the corner going hard with them motherfucking facts. Blaze on your bitch ass. Drop the truth for change.